So I woke up this morning probably at about 7-ish, and I had to work from 8 to 2 today. I was actually covering at a different stand because I work at Dutch Bros. And it was like a lot busier at this other stand that I was covering at than it normally is at my stand. So it was a little crazy. The flowers on my roommate's door were from my friend Sam. He was a mess last night, and she was just kind enough to take care of him. And so he made her pancakes and gave her a card and left her flowers. So that's just like the kind of thing he does when people take care of him. He just feels bad, so he normally does kind of stuff like that. He left this morning. He slept on my couch last night because he was all sorts of everywhere. So he slept on my couch, and then his shoes were in my roommate's room, and he didn't want to wake her up to get them, so he just left his shoes here this morning, and he just walked to his car without shoes, drove home. His shoes are still here. The dog, the dog Sam, yeah, she's great. She hasn't been here for that long. She moved up here probably like month and a half-ish ago, like beginning of spring term. She's my roommate Starla's dog. She's pretty young, so she has like a lot of energy. She's chill sometimes, but she does get pretty hyper. I do take her out on occasion, though. We go on walks, and people like to pet her, and they say hi to me, so it makes me kind of feel popular when I have the dog. She's in the process of being trained, like I said, she's still pretty young, so my roommate's still kind of working on training her and getting her to sit and to not jump on people and to not get super excited when new people come into the room, because she still has a tendency to do that. Well, I had a cough for about 1 to 2 weeks, the beginning of spring term, and then I kind of gave it to my roommate, Juliana, and then she had a cough for about 4 weeks, and now I've got it back, and it's a terrible cycle. It really sucks, especially because we're in like such close quarters and we're in contact with each other every day, so it's really easy to get sick from one another. Well, for dinner, I went to Baja Fresh, and I had taquitos and rice and pinto beans and chips with guacamole and sour cream. That was it. It is so difficult keeping this place clean, especially because not all of my roommates really keep on top of cleaning up after themselves. They'll leave their dishes in the sink, or my roommate's dog sheds all over the place, and so it's really it's just the worst, having to sweep up all the hair off the floor, otherwise it sticks to my socks, and I can't stand it when the dog hair sticks to my socks. It's pretty difficult, but when I do have spare time, I really try to make it a priority to keep the place somewhat clean. The apartment has a lot of amenities, so I used to play pool on the occasion, and I really enjoyed that. But I don't do that now as much. I would say the hot tub is the place that I go. It's kind of just a place that me and my friends like to go and just hang out, chill, It's also relaxing, so. So I've been playing the ukulele for probably, that's hard to think about. I would say maybe 3 years. I never took lessons or anything. I just kind of self-taught myself chords and that sort of thing, and then I learned the chords that were put together for songs. Well, my brother kind of inspired me to learn. I wouldn't necessarily say that he taught me how to play certain things on the ukulele, but just the fact that he loved it kind of made me have a desire to want to learn. So I've been musically inclined since I was really little. It kind of runs in my family. So, and I also I've played the piano since I was 8, so it wasn't super hard for me to learn chords and know how chords mesh together and form songs. So I have the same with singing. I do get nervous on the occasion to perform. I would say that performing a lot kind of diminishes like the amount of anxiety that I have. But it's always nerve-wracking, you know, to get up in front of a huge crowd and play the piano or sing or the ukulele or whatever. You're always afraid that you're going to mess up and that people are going to judge you or laugh at you or whatever. But I feel like at some point you kind of like get to the point where that stuff doesn't really bother you, I guess. And it's kind of like you just go out and you do it, and what happens happens, and there's not really much you can change after that. So I would say I probably spend more time outside of my apartment than I do inside. There's not really much to do here except for homework, watch Netflix, eat food, that kind of stuff. Also, my friends find like the complex super confusing to like to like get around in, and I mean, we just have like a couple of my friends live in a house, and it's just easier to hang out there, and they live super close, and it's just, it kind of feels like more like we're hanging out if we're in a house than if we're just like chilling in my apartment. So and we do like go out to the movies and like do other stuff because there's not really much to do here. So do I like living in Franklin? Well, I mean, it's rough. I would say it's overpriced. The heaters are way too loud. I'm not a huge fan of living in a big complex, honestly. I thought that I would have the opportunity to meet more people and like make new friends, but I really don't. I haven't met any of my neighbors. The only people that I really associate with is my roommates and then maybe a couple of people that I see in the hallway or whatever. But no, I'm actually like not a huge fan, to be completely honest, of like the big corporate complex ideal of Franklin. So, if I could move anywhere else besides like Franklin or like a big complex, I think I would probably want to live like Hilliard area, maybe in like a smaller apartment or even like a house, honestly. I lived in a house over the summer last year with a couple other girls. I was subleasing for the summer, and it wasn't that bad. The only thing that sucked is that my landlord didn't want to fix anything. But other than that, I think that having a landlord wouldn't be so bad if I were to live in like a house or like a private landlord, I guess. I would say it's difficult having a lot of roommates because things don't always turn out the way that I want them to. You know, things don't stay clean like I want them to, or like we just have like bad communication or that kind of stuff. But I would say that like I enjoy like having roommates because like it's someone that I get to spend time with and get to know better and, you know, get to laugh with and bond with. So that's nice.